It's here.
Hello?
Have you checked the children?
They're all pods, all of them.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
I'm afraid!
Don't be afraid!
No. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Here's Gingy.
Pain has a face. Allow me to show it to you. Gentlemen, I am pain.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face. The blackest eyes. The devil's eyes.
You think that when you die, you go to heaven. You come to us.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
I think he's in trouble.
Julie, this guy, if he can't take a joke, he stinks.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
Greetings, Flesh Wound Horror freaks, and welcome to a brand new episode of Flesh Wound Horror Rumbling with the Devil. I am Daniel Shine, joined as always by Todd Loya.
Did you say butt plugging with the devil?
Rumbling, you fuck.
Now I just want to hear Van Halen do butt plug in with the devil.
We can call it butt plugging with the devil. We can just like go hard, be very raunchy, and it can be an after dark episode, I suppose. But you know,
and Dan would not rather butt plug with anyone but Chuck Norris.
That's fucked up. It's fucked up. We've had all right, and I'm going to get it out here just because Todd's so full of shit. We had a debate on the merits of Jean-Claude Van Damme.
No. I said I don't like him. It's not a
opinions.
Yeah, you can't argue out of like the fact that I'm not into Jean-Claude Van Damme.
You should be,
because everyone needs to be like Master Dan.
Jean-Claude Van Damme is the fucking man, and he has the best quality record of the action stars.
He does splits like a girl. Get out of here with that bullshit.
How would
I love Van Damme? Double team.
I know.
Double
There's
impact.
There's only one Van Damme I enjoy, and that's Rob.
Bargain basement compared to Jean-Claude.
Wow.
You're crazy.
Bargain basement.
I don't think you need to go that hard. Van Damme is the man.
Like two of us now right here.
But I do love Van Damme. Universal Soldier, Bloodsport. Fuck yeah.
I actually like the last Universal Soldier better than the first.
The one where he's on a boat?
Good,
or was there another one where I didn't see?
What was the last one, Dan?
So Universal Soldier, then you had Universal Soldier: The Return with Bill Goldberg. That's how you remember that one. Then you
that one's not canon though.
Then you had the last two that they shot back to back. I think Day of Reckoning was the last one, which were actually both very good.
Was Van Damme in both of those?
Yeah.
Okay,
then Van Damme.
One of them was 3D, I believe, too.
There are other standalones. There are two Canadian
television movies,
DTV movies with Burt Reynolds, actually, that also, which I have. We can do a Universal Soldier show at some point.
I've seen all those. I've given Van Damme chances. I don't hate like some of his stuff. Like Universal Soldier's all right. Cyborg's all right. His early the whole martial arts thing. That's a whole. I don't know.
How do you not like kick?
But you know what, Dan? They've never done it for me. But here's the thing. I'll let Dan have it because being a little white kid, he never got to see the white guys doing kung fu. So it's like he got to see himself on screen. So
RVD is a tribute band to Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm just going to say that. And I don't know why we're comparing a pro wrestler to Van Damme.
I'm not. I said the only Van Damme I like is Rob. It has nothing to do. And if we're going, okay, I would rather watch Rob Van Dam wrestle than a Van Dam movie.
You just need to revisit.
But I may rather watch a Jean-Claude movie over a Rob Van Dam movie, unless it was directed by the Demon.
There you go. There you go. So yeah,
see,
Van
Dan, I
Damme
brought it
joke
back
up
to the devil. So why don't we talk about? Because Dan can't accept I'm not like balls deep on Van Damme. I don't have to like everything you like,
but you will once you revisit it. That's all I'm saying. Once you revisit the entire.
But you will.
You're making a mistake, Dan. Because I'm open to revisiting them, but the more you dig your feet in, the more I'm not going to like them.
Yeah, because you're stubborn. Sudden Death, you didn't like Sudden Death was really good.
Okay, you at least give me this. What is it? Black Eagles, Lionhearts,
Conquest.
Double Impact.
I said Double Impact earlier.
Death Warrant.
Death Warrant. Overall, there's more that I don't like than I do.
You haven't really given too many that you. All right. Well, we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
You cannot
later.
comprehend what someone doesn't think exactly like.
Let's worship. Let's worship the devil a little bit. What's up?
We will worship the devil.
Hold on. I'm just going to lead with this. Speaking of people, I did not enjoy their films growing up. That I've since flipped a corner. I don't love them, but I appreciate them a lot more. And that is Dan's Ginger God. There we go.
The almighty Chuck Norris.
The almighty Chuck Norris. Well, I like Van Damme better.
One of my favorite Chuck Norris jokes, though. I might have told on the show before. It's one time Chuck Norris walked down the street with an erection. There were no survivors. I fucking love that.
That was an interesting phenomenon. I feel like it should have been like Van Damme that got all of those jokes, but it is what it is. So
no, it should have been Seagal because it would have been funnier.
Hey, Seagal's early films were great.
No, I'm saying the jokes would have been funnier.
Filmography.
Oh my God, Dan! Calm down,
Dan. You stuck with it enough for it to be really, really funny. Now just move on.
I'm moving on. I'm trying to talk Chuck Norris. I keep talking shit. All right, so Hellbound, a 1994 film from Chuck's brother Aaron Norris, which this one. Follows two Chicago police officers, Shatter and Jackson, are investigating the brutal murder of a rabbi and are summoned to Israel for questioning. While they're in Israel, they continue their investigation and on some of the leads that they have. After a while, they begin to understand that they are trying to catch an ancient supernatural being, and if they don't do it fast, something terrible will happen. All right, so Hellbound, a canon film from the latter day of canon films. I mean, this was
this is barely a canon film. This is like 21st century era. It is, but it's after they split. So after they split, it's like, to me, it's not a true canon film.
Well. Nonetheless, Todd, you can't deny.
That's why I said it's barely a canon film.
This was the point where I want to say this was the last one with any kind of a budget behind it. Dudikoff, I think, had like Chain of Command, but yeah, this is pretty much
talk about a good white guy who does martial arts. Dudikoff is the man.
You're gonna make me do it again. But I'll ignore that one and let you have
this
it.
whole show was like white guys who do martial arts.
So, anyways, I will.
Austrian.
So, our devil in this one, played by Christopher Niam, was really, really good. This film is a cheese fest. I mean, it always has been. But how are you going to pass up Chuck Norris fighting the fucking devil? I remember when this came out too. It was weird because I think Walker, Texas Ranger had just started, and Sherry Wilson, who's the girl in this, of course, is also the love interest in Walker, Texas Ranger. So this had a lot of interesting things going for it. We talked about some of the pseudo slasher stuff that Chuck Norris did. We didn't do Hero and the Terror yet, which I feel will probably be on a future show. But this was like the big one. I'm like, holy shit, Chuck Norris is fighting the fucking devil. Young Dan was marking out like crazy when he found out about this. And as cheesy as it is, I mean, because again, this is not, you know, I mean, it's not a massive budgeted film, but it you know, it has some production value. You know, they're shooting in Israel and whatnot. It's goofy, but it's goofy fun for me. I have a little more to say, but I will tag you guys because it's first time watch for both of you, right?
For me, for sure.
Yeah.
What did you think, Pugs?
Well, seeing as how it's Chuck Norris on an adventure with Rick James, I thought I'd have more of a better time since it's including the fucking devil. But this is just fucking just slow for me, man. I got excited with the pimp stuff in the beginning, like they slapping the hoe. After that, it just dragged on. I just rather have watched End of Days because all these movies are very, very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Too similar to a point I'm gonna bring up later.
Yeah,
this is why Dan's not the number one booker.
Well, this one came first, so say what you will.
That's
Fair.
not what we're talking about.
Not the one I saw first. So I'm comparing it in my head to a movie we're gonna talk about later. I am a big Chuck Norris fan. I think he's freaking awesome. I like his legend more than I like him for sure. Yeah, it's just him and Rick James go to Israel and they fight this little guy. Like, nah.
You didn't pop for like just Chuck Norris basically stealing his money and the kid felt so out of place. I was like, I wanted to do a rewrite on it because they do have a creepy devil in this one. The guy, you know, he brought the creep factor, but the movie's not.
That he had. Nah.
Yeah, well, a bit more directing, I think. I mean, it's definitely more of an action movie than a horror movie. I figure Todd at least enjoyed when the hooker got thrown out the window, so there is some Todding going on. But I will say this for Chuck Norris. Like, I really like Chuck Norris. Not all of his movies are fantastic, though. Like, I'm not, you know, he's not Van Damme, but I do really like him. Todd, what say you about Hellbound?
I'm with Pugs on this one. This is one I've been wanting to see because it was a canon film, even if it was a later era one. They should have just gave Rick James double the coke and this movie would have been so much better. It was, there was some entertaining parts and there was like some laughs here and there, but it's definitely more on the so bad it's entertaining. And even that's a bit of a stretch. Because I think if, say, like Pugs was, I don't know if you'll agree with me, if we've been watching this together, it would have been a lot more entertaining.
Yes. Yes.
So,
watch.
Yeah.
It just moves slow. Like, there was enough going on. I mean, there was stuff going on, but it wasn't enough to be like, oh, yeah. Keep going. And it's like very slow Indiana Jones.
Yeah, and this is why I brought up late era canon, because if this is nowhere near early era, I mean, this is obviously their fall from grace, and this is what we got. If this would have been 5 years earlier, this movie would have been fucking awesome.
It still has its moments. I mean, I'm not like a super defender of the movie. I still have a good time with it. Once, I mean, he really is going toe to toe with the devil. I mean, that is pretty cool. There is a problem actually in all of the films to a degree. Well, particularly this and End of Days. The fact that it's the fucking devil, I think he would, you know, have an easier go of things in terms of like hand-to-hand combat. But nonetheless, I still think this one's fun.
Do we know that for sure?
Well, yeah, no, I mean, it's Chuck Norris. I mean, I still have a good time with this one. The little kid stuff was cheesy, but let's be honest, Todd, if it was 5 years earlier, I could still see the little kid being a part of this too.
The kid didn't even really bother me, so
I don't know. It would have been fun if they really went dark and like had the devil like skin the kid or do something fucked up. But you know, it's not quite that.
You got an extra half point from me for that.
Just lights him on fire. That would be cool. But I still give this one a 3. I think it's above average, and when it really comes down to it, it's Chuck Norris fighting the devil. It's a good time. It's good, cheesy fun.
I honestly thought you were going to go higher on that. Right on.
What did you go, Dan?
I just like it. 3.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm shocked I liked it almost as much as you did then.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to give it a 2.5.
Yeah. I'm exact same with you on that. So yeah, I expected Dan to be higher too.
It's a great name, by the way.
Yeah, it's a flawed, but still.
It's also a great state of being.
Yes. All right. So that's Hellbound. If you haven't checked it out, this isn't on Blu-ray yet, which there's a shocking amount of Chuck Norris stuff still not available.
They're probably waiting for him to die.
Oh, Chuck.
I love Chuck, but like let's be real here. Yep. As soon as he croaks, that shit.
And there's a bunch out of print now too.
Yeah. No, there's a lot. This was like on a triple pack set.
There was, yeah.
Singly. Yeah.
Yeah, there was because they released those three at the same time. I can't remember what the other two were.
Yeah, it's hopefully they get to it. I think most of his stuff, like I said, not all of it's like classic, but
yeah, no rush on this one.
Yeah, well, people will still enjoy it, I think.
Get Invasion USA back in print first, then you can worry about some Hellbound.
Oh, I didn't know that was out of print. Yeah, you definitely.
All the Scream basically all the Scream/Shout Factory MGM stuff.
Yeah.
So if you haven't got Missing in Action 3, that's another one that's out of print. Actually, I think all of them are.
Yeah. It's. I still have to get Firewalker. Actually, that's a fun, like Chuck Norris does Indiana Jones movie. That I
would have rather watch that.
Is that a porn parody where Chuck Norris actually does Indy, like South Park?
Chuck Norris would have been a good Indiana Jones. He could have done it. A little more kung fu maybe, but he would have been a good Indiana Jones. But anyways,
I'm surprised you still like kung fu with everything going on, but
that's messed up, Todd. I still like kung fu. I still like my martial arts movies. You don't like Kickboxer,
but you like the ones with the white guys. I'm just gonna say it now.
That's not true. I like a lot of different Asian actors in.
Who's your favorite?
Chan, dude.
Who's your favorite female martial artist?
Cynthia Rothrock. I'm going to answer it honestly.
I know that's my point. It's all right. Why don't we move on to another? Well, he doesn't really do martial arts, but it's another white guy. So,
what does that matter?
I'm just pointing out when Dan picks everything on the show.
I am totally down for Wesley Snipes fighting.
2 white guys in the German.
Blade versus Satan.
Boom. I mean, I'd watch the fuck out of that.
There you go. There you go.
I want Blade. I want a mashup though. I want Blade on a fucking airplane, so it's like Passenger 666.
Oh, Passenger. Yes.
Fuck, I haven't seen Passenger 57 in 4 fucking ever.
I am down for a Wesley Snipes show with Demolition Man. It seems like a good time.
Motherfucker! Yeah.
It's all coming true.
I think it's already booked now. We just need one more Wesley film.
And like 10 years, it's like
I fucking love that movie too.
We'll bring Chris on for that.
Cool.
No, he loves that movie.
Does he?
Yeah.
All right. See, fuck Return of the Living Dead.
I
just want Dan to have to watch Tu Wong Fu.
You've never seen Tu Wong Fu?
I know. I think my mom watched it in a hotel once.
Piece of shit.
God damn it! Just because I didn't see Tu Wong Fu. My mom watched it in a hotel once, and I saw parts of it. But Wesley Snipes,
he couldn't control himself while watching.
Wesley Snipes was my number 2 action star for a while. I really dug Passenger 57, Demolition Man. I mean, holy shit!
Dude, Simon fucking Phoenix, hell yeah!
I'm pretty sure at
Excuse me.
one point I wanted to be Simon Phoenix, and I didn't understand why I couldn't be Simon Phoenix.
Like,
But
I can just get some mud, some blonde.
It's okay. I was Mr. T for Halloween.
Fuck yeah.
Well,
I wanted to
don't,
cut my hair that way, but unfortunately, they just got me a mask.
Oh, there you go. So, anyways, let's talk some more Satan. So, our next film is the 1998 Dolph Lundgren film, The Minion, from director Jean-Marc Pichet. International action star Dolph Lundgren stars in The Minion, a powerful non-stop action-packed thriller in the tradition of The Mummy. When a beautiful and ambitious archaeologist unearths a mysterious key beneath the streets of 1999 New York City, the Templar Knights of Christ send Lucas to retrieve it. With no time to lose, he must convince her to give him the key before unspeakable evil is unleashed upon the world by the Minion, a demonic servant of the Antichrist who will do everything in its power to possess the key and see that its sinister master is freed. And only Lucas, a modern-day warrior trained in the ancient arts, can defeat the ultimate evil. Director Jean-Marc Pichet made his feature film debut with this action-packed horror fantasy. All right, so this was kind of a shocker when Kino put out the Blu-ray. At this particular point, I think technically, because, I mean, it is 98, this came out before End of Days. I want to say it beat it to theaters because I remember being like aware End of Days. No. I mean, it was video, but I mean, it came out to the video store before End of Days hit theaters. So I was aware End of Days was coming. I was very excited for that, and then I was like, "Holy shit! I get to see Dolph Lundgren fight the devil too." And Chuck fought the devil. Oh man!
Has Sylvester Stallone ever fought the devil?
He has not. He needs Rocky, the next Rocky movie, to save the fucking world. Can you imagine? Like he dangles the carrot. He's gonna bring Adrian back to life and like all his friends if he wins. Can you imagine that? Yes, they're all back. We have them like fucking CGI Burgess Meredith.
Actually,
you can't do it, Rock.
If Carl Weathers plays Satan,
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Oh man, I want Rocky in space fighting an alien too, but yeah, maybe we'll get there. I don't know. But anyways, The Minion. We keep coming up with cooler shit than what we're reviewing. And
so far,
like
yeah.
But anyways, so watching this one again, I won't lie. When I first saw it, I was a bit underwhelmed. It's obviously, trying to do this on a budget, so I knew I wasn't going to be getting what I was going to get from End of Days. But watching this one again, a lot of it's very kind of low key. I mean, the minions are basically just people possessed. It's not a special effects movie. Truthfully, there's very little in the way of that until like the end when you have some like statues and shit start coming to life. But I enjoyed it better this second go around. Dolph Lundgren was kind of in a period here where he was doing a few films where you could tell he was trying to kind of do some different stuff. Jill the Ripper, ironically, is another serial killer movie that he did with Anthony Hickox, I believe, where like he's going after like some S&M, like going through S&M clubs and doing, not typical Dolph Lundgren stuff. I don't think it worked. There you go. So watching this one again, it's definitely not a great movie, but it's entertaining. I had a decent time with it. I mean, it was cool seeing Michael Gray's eyes of Fear the Walking Dead and Blood Quantum. I didn't realize this was an early.
That motherfucker does not age. It's got to be like a secret dance or something that he's got going on.
22 years. But before I get too much more into this, what did you think, Pugs?
First off, I cannot believe Dolph Lundgren as a motherfucking priest. So that alone, I'm like, man, you can't just hire him. Like, he doesn't have to be of the faith. He just so that part I was already rolling my eyes. I guess it got a little better. Like when it first opened, I'm like, oh, this is gonna fucking suck. I am not having a good time. And
Ye of little faith.
Well, it didn't get much better, Dan. So hold on. When things started to pick up, I'm like, okay, this is cool. And then it just went right back down again until those statues started moving and it looked like crap. And like, I understand it's 1997, 8, whatever it is at this point.
98. Yeah.
So I'm like, time. I'm forgiving it for the time it was made, but dude, no, I can't fucking. He should have just been Ivan Drago fighting the devil, and that would have been cool. He had to go and try something new, and it didn't work for me. So this is another slow movie I really didn't give a shit about.
I will break you, and then he like punches through the devil's face.
I'm going with one of my favorite quotes. You gave that guy lines. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, Dan, this is another strikeout.
Well, they're not going to all be good. They're a theme. God damn it. I'm sorry. Not everything's a 5, Todd. God damn it, Todd. If it were, we should be reviewing.
He's like way too defensive for his lack of picking good films. Yeah, this is another one. I was hoping. I like Dolph. He's hit and miss, and this was unfortunately a miss. The glove looks cool on the cover, but yeah, Priest Dolph doesn't work.
Yeah, it's like that's for me. It's like saying when Mark Wahlberg was a fucking teacher in The Happening. Like, I'm already out. Like, I can believe the fucking he's killing everybody, but him as an actual teacher and not a physical ed teacher, nah.
Right? You can give him a PE teacher that gets no problems.
Fucking A.
Are you calling Mark Wahlberg a fucking moron?
I am calling Mark Wahlberg a stupid idiot.
That's probably not the smartest.
Mind you, though, I do like him, but if would I take a lesson from him? Nah. Maybe if it's like a sit up or something, sure. I mean,
I mean, the Minion. I think the biggest issue it had is the lack of like fantastical elements. But there's plenty of action. I mean, watching it again, I was like, I did enjoy it better than the first time I saw it.
So you didn't even really like it the first time?
So they're not all recommendations. They'd fit. But you know what was interesting?
Cool. So does the fist in your ass doesn't mean we want to see it.
Well, I hope Dolph fists you with that thing there.
Like with that thing?
There you go. That would have made you enjoy the film if he just boom.
Dan's
man.
Yeah.
Wood rocket come through. I want to see that. But you did say something about Dolph being a priest. Don't forget Johnny Mnemonic, kind of a religious prophet like character in that. So he's Yeah, Johnny Mnemonic. Maybe it's been a while.
That had a very cool VHS box. Other than that,
it did. Did really probably the end of his any kind of a theatrical.
No white collar.
But I'm a 2.5 on this. I think it's a perfectly enjoyable, albeit average movie that doesn't quite have the budget, I think, to come up. I think if he was like beating the shit out of like legit demons, like some monsters in there, they just didn't have the budget. But I had a good time.
I'm a 1.5.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I'm still that close to Dan. I'm 1.5 too, but I get Dan next time. Let us know that you really didn't care for him in the beginning because I had my expectations high.
Yeah,
we were talking about End of Days, so I was like, oh, cool. If it's with that pedigree, and some people like it, some people don't. But I was looking forward to it. And then
we're building. We're building up.
Dan, this isn't the way you build.
Damn it, Todd.
That's why Dan's booking is Van Damme's band.
It's a theme. I brought up another film
before that band it goes into effect.
I stand by.
Okay, wait, Dan. I will make you a promise on the air. I will let you book an entire month of shows if you do the commentaries me and Bugs want to do.
Do a commentary of what?
The show, what we've been talking about, not on air because not yet, but some of the movies that we want to do commentaries on. It's mandatory that you join us.
Is it Patreon only?
Nah.
No, it's Patreon only.
If it's Patreon only, if it's Patreon only, you get to pick a week of whatever.
If it's Patreon only and it never goes anywhere else, I'll do. I assume you're talking about.
Don't say it. There's two movies.
All right.
We aren't announcing anything.
Patreon.com/fleshwoundfeatures for exclusive. And
so, are you agreeing to it, Dan?
We'll talk off air.
I book a whole month. Yeah.
No.
It's Patreon now.
Yeah, if Patreon, you don't get that much for Patreon.
All right. Well, I get to book 2 shows then, without any bitching.
Okay, I'll do 2 shows, but
I'll be Van Damme.
No, that's fine. I'll do 2 shows, but they can't be back to back. I don't want to drive away viewers.
Cool.
Okay.
I come up with great concepts, fucker. All right, so back to the devil.
If you like Dan's concepts, please let someone else know. Because he'll always come and tell us, "Oh yeah, they loved it," but we don't know who they are.
That's fucked up. Yes. Go and message Todd and tell him what an asshole.
I would like to hear some feedback on the Epstein episode. So if you do listen and watch us, let us know.
Comment, post on the group, do something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let an N-word know.
All right. So
even that made him
moving
uncomfortable.
I think we probably all have somewhat of a story with this film, and that is the 1990. Well, because I already know Pugs does. I do. Maybe you.
I have
do,
a
Todd.
story.
I don't know.
I guess I do. It's not about the film. It just. Oh well, we'll get there.
Yeah. So the 1999 film from director Peter Hyams, and that is End of Days. And this film, on December 28, 1999, the citizens of New York City are getting ready for the turn of the millennium. However, the devil decides to crash the party by coming to the city and inhabiting a man's body, searching for his chosen bride, a 20-year-old woman named Christine York. If he bears her child between 11 p.m. and midnight on New Year's Eve, the world will end, and the only hope lies with an atheist ex-cop named Jericho Kane, who no longer believes in God because of the murder of his wife and daughter. All right,
initials JC, if you don't pick up on that. This movie's very fucking heavy-handed with that stuff, though. So.
There you go. Yeah. Also, I was going to say I just noticed Christian York came before the movie, but yeah, that's cool. All right, so End of Days. Pugs, I think you're probably the biggest. I know you were really excited for this, so you're the ultimate fanboy for End of Days. What did you think? What did you think when this one came out? I have my own story, but I know this was one that I felt like I was waiting for a long time. How about you?
Well, this came out when I was 13. Well, when we were 13. So, prime teenage. Satan's kind of cool. He's all right. You got my buddy Arnold in here blowing shit up. I was over the moon for this fucking movie. And it had my favorite band, Korn, on the soundtrack. I'll tell you this little story about that later. Yeah, this was Arnold's big comeback after that heart surgery and then Batman and Robin. So,
I'm just throwing it out there. And didn't he also promote this on WWE? Isn't this when he won that title belt?
Yes. That's right.
Am I spoiling?
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck yeah, it was. Yeah, I was all about this. I liked the trailer back when I used to watch trailers. I was. This is my jam. And then I saw the movie. My 13-year-old brain loved the fuck out of this movie. I'm pretty sure you all knew that coming in. My poker face was terrible when we were. I love End of Days. Unapologetically. I really don't understand why people shit on this movie so bad. It's just you take it at face value. It is very heavy-handed, but it's it's just a good time. And
I know why I got shit on, because it's not a typical Arnold movie.
Yeah, I guess. And you know what? It could have used a little more Arnold scenes, like him shooting. Oh man, if they had the original ending, which we'll get to towards the end, that could have been fucking amazing. And I wish HBO would redo the original story of this, but we'll get there later. What did you guys think before we dive too deep?
I'll let Dan go first.
Well, so I'm just gonna say this first and foremost: the devil could have totally have won if he just offered Arnold 72 BBW maids, and it would have been done. He would have sold out everybody, because this is around the time I think he was fucking that maid. So no, I don't know what people were smoking back then, because I thought this was badass. Arnold has several like kick-ass action moments, from the train, or not the train, the subway scene, and
we get Owen Hart and Sting in the opening scene. It's awesome.
You do. Yes. Oh shit. Gabriel Byrne slays it as the fucking devil. He was in Stigmata, I think, like right before this.
Yeah, no weird.
So yeah, he had pretty much, kind of dealt with this sort of back to back. When he like just goes into Udo Kier's house and like fucks his like daughter and mom, I remember thinking like, oh shit, this isn't like normal Arnold Schwarzenegger stuff.
Like
I thought
society moment too.
Yeah, like blending in and shit. I wanted to just see like poor Udo have to sit there and watch it. Oh, he'd probably be, but it's I thought they got more horror content in here than I expected, because I remember thinking when I was going to see it, I was like, this is probably going to be kind of like Hellbound, and it's just going to be really an over the top, devil that's just going to have fight scenes with Arnold. That is still an issue, because it's like, the moments when you're kind of going toe to toe with them, it's like he's the fucking devil, so there's a certain suspension of disbelief. But it's a Schwarzenegger movie,
like when Vince McMahon fought God.
There you go. Vince would probably take him. But anyways, at this time, I was seriously like pushing for my parents to buy like proper bunkers in like Montana, because I thought Y2K was going to fucking kill us all. So
this is the guy who's in a hurry to get back to theaters to open. Go figure.
Yeah, well, this one's not.
You thought an imaginary computer virus was going to kill us all, for some real computer virus.
There were a lot of fucking smart people that thought it was going to kill us all. So I didn't want an
people did not. People who talk a lot don't mean they're smart.
Well, I'm just saying, sir, it was scary, and I thought that we were going to live a sci-fi movie, and we did. Just it took 20.
It's a little late, yeah.
A little delayed, but anyways, I think this movie really holds up well. It's kick-ass. There's some moments where Pugs was kind enough to remind me of this, that Arnold was not the original cast in the role. It was Tom Cruise, and I want to say there were a couple other people that were attached to this at some point. I'm glad it was Arnold. I'll be honest, I think Arnold is probably just as good of an actor as Tom Cruise is. I don't think Tom Cruise has
I'm gonna say the one thing though, and this movie suffers it from the same thing, with just like Tom Cruise, and this is why it doesn't work for me like it did you two. Like Tom Cruise and like Arnold, they can really only play themselves, basically. There's no suspension of disbelief when you see one of their movies. When you go see a movie with them, you're watching Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're watching Tom Cruise. It's something that you just can't flip off and go full in the movie.
They're not an everyman.
Yeah. So that out of the way, I think it not being enough of an Arnold movie kind of holds it back. It's not enough Arnold. It's not enough horror. It needs to have leaned into one a little more than it did. Oh, I thought you were going to say something, Dan.
No.
While I don't hate this one or anything, I I do consider it one of his weaker films. I'd much rather be watching Commando than End of Days.
I can't.
Well, yeah,
But I could say that about pretty much 90% of films. I'd rather be watching Commando.
Something totally
What
but
about-
he does have
what about the religious aspect, Todd? I know you don't really dig on that too.
That didn't help it, but I didn't hate it on this one. Like we did one the other day, Malabimba, which is a religious possessionist horror that I actually really like. So
it has some good Arnold moments though, like any of the like Arnold best of things. I mean, when he's like the devil is like, you're a fucking choir boy.
Yeah, there's still some good Arnold moments.
When he shoots Kevin Pollak, he's like, "Stop being such a pussy." It took it pretty well, being that you just like shoot him in the arm. Like
that fucking nasty ass shake, though. I still can't get over that. Coffee, pizza, Pepto Bismol, fucking nasty. I read that somewhere that at one point Mel Gibson was one of the people who considered for this, and I do think that would have been better because he's our Lord and Savior. So, yeah. Oh, and surprise, your fucking boy Van Damme didn't get the role because I don't know if he auditioned or not, but same director as Time Cop. What's that?
Yeah.
Peter
Hyams. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been even better. But I mean,
it might have been.
Mel Gibson though brings action star and actor. Plus, I think
also
he
just looks like he wants to kill himself all the fucking time. At least he did at one point.
Martin Riggs, exactly.
Yep, dude. See, that's what I envisioned. Like Martin Riggs in my. Also, I do think that I bring a lot of headcanon to End of Days because of the original script. But yeah, I believe Riggs in that role would be even better. So let's talk about the original ending to this movie.
Okay, please do.
Absolutely.
So after the subway crash,
do we want to rate this and kind of throw this into spoilers before we talk about the original ending?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
We can rate it
real quick. Yeah, in case anyone doesn't, want to know yet.
Fucking Arnold saving the craft from Gabriel Burns is the shit. 5.
Okay, go ahead, Dan.
I'm a 4.5. I think this Arnold versus the Devil. I think this delivered pretty much almost everything that you could hope for, while still also maintaining somewhat of a horror feel. And I did also want to point out, small role, but the albino, he's gonna fuck you, Christine. He's gonna fuck you.
I love that scene.
Good. Boom.
I have a coworker named Christine, and I say that all the time.
I'm going 3 on this one, and I do want to say this kind of applies to everything tonight.
3 6s.
Which one is it?
There you go.
That's kind of ironic, isn't it? Considering I don't like.
We all know what it's for.
Yeah, I think just a word of warning: if you're like purely a horror fan, I don't know if any of these are gonna hit what you want. This one would be the closest one, though.
Sure. Yeah. This had the most horror elements, and I thought the effects held up pretty well. I hadn't watched this in a while.
Yeah, I was gonna say they were rough a few spots.
I grade on a curve because I like this movie a lot, but yeah, I think it needs a remake.
I would be down. Yeah, I would totally be down for like Mel Gibson. I'm seeing that like the most, and I feel like it could be a little more horror. I wonder how his religious beliefs would like.
Oh, if it's a remake, I'm not casting him now. I'm like, if this was back in the day, yeah I think he would have been perfect. No,
yeah,
on Arnold because he did his job, but it's Arnold.
Here's how you do it at the end.
Hey, Dan.
Mel Gibson. You have Jim. Wait a minute. You have Jim Caviezel just show up as Jesus and like just with a machine gun and like back him up. Just start lighting the devil up with like gunfire. Boom. There you go. It's get by with a little help from your savior. spoiler talk, guys. So right now, this is a 21-year-old movie, but nonetheless,
we are old
you
as
may not
fuck.
have seen it.
I was 23 when I saw this. 22.
Dang, right on. Yeah, man, my 13-year-old brain fucking love this. So, original ending. After the train, they don't go to the church. What they do, they go to Central Park. They're running away because it's New Year's. Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Central Park turns into hell. The fucking ground breaks open. Everyone starts catching on fire. Demons start flying out, and the devil, like we see in the church, he comes out, but he's like, I don't know, like 3 times bigger, and he looks like a fucking dragon. And like now, it turns into more of an action Arnold movie where he's like just ripping ass. Like I don't remember exactly how it fucking ends, but it ends the same way. He ends up sacrificing himself, and but like, dude, turning Central Park into hell is the fucking most metal thing I've ever heard in my life. And I want that so fucking bad. So HBO, I'm looking at you. Stars, you too. Stephen DeKnight is who I would want to direct this, and I don't know who this are, but I just love that idea of turning Central Park into hell.
Yeah.
Can they explain it that Giuliani summoned the devil to kill the homeless people?
Sure. He was the one that fucking baptized the baby with the snake blood.
There you go. Yeah, this movie, it's actually interesting because the same year, I know Arnold was attached to Doom early on. That was supposed to, I want to say, at least it was online, that Alex de la Iglesia, who kind of always a guy I always thought would be like a Guillermo del Toro type that would kind of branch out outside his home country, was attached. And I would have liked to have seen that too. Because of course what we got was not like pure Doom. So maybe we still will. I don't know.
Side note, do you know, or did you guys know that Face Off was originally for Arnold and Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah, that I did know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then he turned that down because he didn't feel he can do the job. But then he takes this thing.
I think it still would have been badass, but I don't know. I feel like that one kind of benefited from having like
the 2 best over the top actors ever. Yeah.
yeah. It would have been a good action movie.
All they needed was William Shatner as like their boss, or as like the police chief.
He could have been. Take out, what was that, Margaret Cho? Put Shatner in there.
There you go.
Who removed the stick from yeah. So I was gonna tell you my wrestling story. So when used to backyard with your buddies, the wrestler currently wrestling, Helmuth, was my tag team partner, and his entrance song was Camel Song by Korn from End of Days. So I thought that was pretty. We were all about it. Everything about this fucking movie, from song to the way it looks, it's a good time. And this is another one of those I can watch anytime.
You're talking me into getting the vinyl import. Oh, because I used to have the CD.
It gets Korn money, I'm all for it.
Here's my one of my little interesting tidbits. I saw this movie at the same theater I saw the last movie I saw theatrically.
Oh.
So
it was your End of Days.
Yeah. Which is also the same theater I saw House of 1,000 Corpses, because it was the only one around here bought it. And I still remember how many screens it opened on. 595.
Yeah, it wasn't many. Do you think Baron Corbin's like a big fan of this one?
No.
And on that note, we should wrap this and
we will wrap. I already plugged the Patreon, but be sure to stalk us on Twitter and Instagram. Be sure to check out fleshwoundfeatures.com and the eBay store and all that good stuff. And if you're listening to us on Blog Talk, of course, we love you. You've probably been listening forever on there. But we are also, of course, on YouTube. We're new to YouTube, so like, share, and subscribe. It helps us immensely. And on Facebook, Horror Cartel Flesh Wound Radio group. Join it and like the Flesh Wound Features page. Really helps us grow. So if you can do all this, that would be awesome. And anything else to plug, gentlemen?
Before we leave, one of the lines that was cut in End of Days is when the devil gets thrown out of the window, and some passerby, he's just like, "Oh man, that was a bad fall." And Lucifer goes, "I've had worse."
Super Beast. That's what got me in the soundtrack. I was just like,
Fucking Rob
I think in the
Zombie, man.
commercial they had like the devil like walking through the streets and it was like, hey. And I was like, oh, I want to see this so
Same.
fucking bad.
Yeah, this movie rules, especially if you're 13. He's gonna fuck you, Christine.
Yes.
Well,
he's
if we're
fuck
gonna go this route, I'm gonna say nothing beats the first time seeing Bride of Chucky when Living Dead Girl hits.
Fuck yeah, we should do commentary on that too.
There you go.
But on that note, we're out of here. We'll see you next time. And yeah,
Hail
I guess
Satan.
that's it.
Hail Satan.